So let's talk about VAT and self-assessment. The first one being VAT. If you are an employer and you have got a VAT payment due between the 20th of March and the end of June 2020, then you can defer your VAT payment if you find that you're struggling due to coronavirus or COVID-19. And you can defer that VAT payment until March 2021. Now, you don't have to tell HMRC that you want to defer it. You probably won't get through on the telephones anyway. However, you can defer that payment. You don't have to notify them to do it. But what you must do is you must file your VAT returns on time so that the HMRC know that what's due. But remember, you do not need to ring them and notify them that you would like to defer it. If you're struggling with COVID-19 and you're trying to manage your outgoings, then do think about deferring your VAT payment, because that facility is there for people to use. So let's talk about self-assessment. If you have a self-assessment payment that's due before the 31st of July, then you can actually defer that payment if you're struggling financially through COVID-19, and you can defer that payment right up to January 2021. This is for anybody who's self-employed, who is struggling financially, and you need to manage your outgoings and your expenditure. Do think about taking up these options. There is no penalties for taking up the offer. You do not have to notify HMRC that you would like to defer, but you must make sure that the payment is made by January 2021. So, the Self-Employment Income Support Scheme. This is available for people who are self-employed and who have lost income due to coronavirus or COVID-19. It allows you to claim a taxable grant which is up to 80% of your trading profits, up to a maximum of £2,500, and it's available for the next 3 months at this moment in time. That timeline may be extended. So you can apply if you're a self-employed individual or a member of a partnership, and there's some eligibility criteria. So this is the eligibility criteria. You need to have submitted your income tax self-assessment tax return for the year 2018 to 2019. You need to have traded in the tax year 2019 to 2020. And you need to be trading or would have been trading except for COVID-19 when you make the application. You need to be intending to continue to trade into the year 2021, and you need to have lost trading profits due to COVID-19. Now, that is a fantastic grant that's available. It's not a loan, and it really will help a lot of self-employed people. I will make sure that there is a link just to make sure that people know where to get more information about this Self-Employment Income Support Scheme. Now, the portal isn't quite ready yet that you're going to be making this application into. HMRC have got a lot of work to do in getting all these portals ready, and this payment is going to be a one-off payment that's going to be made in June. So it's not like the coronavirus job retention scheme where you're going to be making applications on a month-by-month basis. For self-employed people, this is going to be a one-off payment made in June 2020. More information is available on the HMRC website, and we'll make sure that we've got some links on these videos so that you can access them. So now I'm going to talk to you about the small business grant funding of £10,000, which is available for all businesses in receipt of small business rate relief or rural rate relief. And this is a grant that's payable quite quickly. It's not a loan, it's a grant, so it's a fantastic offer that's been made available from the government. This is actually being paid quite quickly, so it was announced 3 weeks ago, and within a very, very short period of time, just a few days, all local authorities were starting to either take applications or identify those who would be eligible and make immediate payments. Some local authorities are asking you to apply for it, and they've put in a very short application process on their websites for small businesses to apply for it. Others are just identifying those businesses that are available, that are eligible for the grant, and they're making them payments quite quickly. And I'm going to give you a great example. I live in Calderdale, and Calderdale Council started allowing those applications to be submitted exactly 2 weeks ago, or just under 2 weeks ago actually, a week last Monday, and they've already made payments. So within a week they were starting to make payments, and some of my clients have already received their small business grant of £10,000, which is a huge help, because I really, really do appreciate that people are actually still paying salaries, and they may furlough their employees, but they've had a monthly or a weekly pay bill due, and they're paying that money out of the company's current bank accounts or even their own personal savings. So this is a grant. Again, it's not a loan, and you really need to look on your own local authority website to see what the eligibility criteria is for you, whether you need to make an application or whether that local authority is automatically identifying those companies that are eligible and making a direct payment to you. So once again, small business grants available for small businesses that are currently eligible for small business rate relief or rural rate relief. So let's talk about some specific sectors now. So if you work in the retail, hospitality and leisure business, so pubs, leisure chains, etc., and you've got a property with a rateable value between £15,000 and £51,000, then there is a grant available to you for up to £25,000. And again, this is coming from the local authorities, and you need to check with your local authority whether you need to apply for that grant or whether they're automatically identifying those businesses that are automatically eligible. But that's, again, this particular sector has been hit really hard. It was one of the first to have been forced to close, and it's actually one of the only areas that have actually been forced to close their businesses. They've been hit hugely hard, but this is an excellent grant. Again, it's a grant, it's not a loan, and this is available for businesses in the retail, hospitality and leisure sectors. There's also a 12 months business rates holiday for everybody within the retail, hospitality, leisure and nursery businesses in England in the 2021 tax year. So again, that's another small benefit that should hopefully be able to help small businesses through this really challenging time. Now I want to go on to the coronavirus Business Interruption Loan Scheme, so the CBILS scheme as it's called. Now this is where small businesses or any type of business can access loans of up to £5 million at really good interest rates and over longer periods of time. So the maximum period that you can use this loan is over 6 years, it's fantastic. And the idea of that is to help businesses get back on the feet. So what we don't want to do is to be in a situation where a small business takes out a loan and unfortunately they can't maintain the payments because they're still trying to get back on the feet. That's impossible to do. So this is a loan facility and it's backed by the government. So the loans are 80% backed by the government. And there's been lots on the social media and in the news recently, especially this week, that you are finding that businesses are trying to apply for these business interruption loan schemes, and then you've got banks that are trying to move people away from the CBILS scheme and onto loans with much higher interest rates from their own banks. And the government are taking swift action to try and stop that. So please, if you're thinking about taking out a CBILS loan, then make sure that you are speaking to either your current lender or one of the many lenders that are actually on this scheme, and you do need to go and have a look, and I'll put the details up for you, but you do need to go and have a look at which lenders are currently available to you. You don't just need to go to your current bank and ask your own bank. You can go to any of the lenders, but the government are taking swift action to make sure that the lenders are trying to keep people on the CBILS scheme, which is 80% backed by the government and means that you can have a loan for your business payable over a longer period of time and at low interest rates. And the other positive thing about that is the first 12 months is actually interest free. So that's another really important point there. Now, the banks are not just going to hand over money if you just pop in and just ask them. It's just not going to work. So what do you need to do? You need to think about a business plan. And this does not need to be an extensive and exhaustive business plan, and I know small business owners would really struggle with that, but if you've got an accountant, get them involved and ask them to help you. They will be happy to help you through this period of time. What you need to do is you need to look at your business and what would have been happening over the next 3 to 6 months, so 13 to 26 weeks, and have a look at what you would have been doing and what you would have been planning had it not been for COVID-19. And you need to pull that plan together to say, this is what my outgoings are already, and this is what I need to sustain my business, but this is also what I was trying to do to either grow my business or sustain my business going forward. And you need to put a plan together which then shows the bank that you have a feasible business plan and there are things that you could still do for your business while we're going through COVID. COVID-19 and to help your business get back onto its feet faster. This is not, as people think, a loan scheme just for business that are tanking or drowning. It's not the case. This is a scheme to help businesses sustain themselves and make sure that the plans that they had in place are still, the money is still there and available for them despite them going through this particular situation. So it really is an excellent scheme. Now, I only know about this scheme because I've done so much work talking to my clients about it. It's not HR, it's not recruitment, it's nothing really for my business, and I get no benefit from talking to you about this, but I get the benefit from telling you as an advisor that I am advising clients and they are accessing this loan scheme successfully for their proposed growth plans for 2020, and you need to look at 13 to 26 weeks. So what is going to be happening, or what would have been happening in your business over the next 6 months, and come with a feasible business plan to your bank to show what you'd like to do and how much money you'd like. But remember, get your accountant involved if you've got an accountant. They will be really happy to help. My accountant's certainly been happy to help me, and I know my clients' accountants have been very happy to help them. And if you've not got an accountant and you need a good accountant, give us a call and I can help you with that as well. 01422 897 152. So there is another offer of help from HMRC, and that is the time to pay scheme. So all businesses and self-employed people that are in any way getting into any type of financial distress due to COVID-19, you can contact HMRC with any outstanding tax liabilities that you've already got, and you may have some. You can contact HMRC and they will try their best to help you through the time to pay scheme that they've now put in place. And it really is meant to help you with your managing your cash flow and your finances through this really challenging time. So whether that's a corporation tax bill, whether it's a VAT bill, it's a personal tax liability, don't just leave it. Make contact with them. They're there to help. Now, it may take you a little bit of time to get through to them because they are obviously really busy, but do make that call and ask them for help with your previous tax liabilities that you may have that are outstanding, and they will do the best to help you. So one that is HR related, so we'll talk about staff absences during COVID-19 and the statutory sick pay relief package that's now available to all employers. It's a really difficult time for everybody, and usually when people are going off sick, it's because they themselves are genuinely ill, and statutory sick pay is payable from the fourth working day that somebody's off ill. So the first 3 days are not payable. That's changed now, and statutory sick pay due to COVID-19 is payable from the first day, and actually employers can claim the statutory sick pay back as well. And you'll now find that there's absolutely lots of reasons for staff being unable to work, and that could be because they may be displaying some symptoms themselves, but they may have a family member displaying symptoms, so they've had to go into isolation, or simply because they've got no childcare, and the schools are closed, people have not got childcare. So there's a number of reasons for people to be unable to work at the minute, and this is when you can claim you can pay them statutory sick pay and you can claim the statutory sick pay back. So it's important to be reasonable with your employees and understand the situation that they're in. So what's the eligibility criteria for the scheme? Well, this includes a refund will cover up to 2 weeks statutory sick pay per eligible employee for a staff member who's been off work because of COVID-19. Statutory sick pay is now payable from day 1 and not from day 4 under these new rules. The eligibility is for employers who have fewer than 250 employees, and the size of the employer will be determined by the number of people that they've employed as of the 28th of February 2020. So you need to have under 250 employees as of the 28th of February to be eligible for this scheme. Employers will be able to reclaim the expenditure for any employee who has claimed statutory sick pay as a result of COVID-19. Employers should maintain records of staff absence and payments of statutory sick pay, but employees are not required to provide fit notes. If if your employer or you as an employer have a policy in place where you do require a type of a fit note, then it's due to COVID-19, then they can get what they're currently called an isolation note, and you can get that from your GP by contacting your GP or from the NHS 111 telephone number. Anybody that's displaying symptoms can obtain what's called an isolation note. But employers, I would say to you, you don't need to ask for this. You just need to keep good records of the time that people have had off and the amount that you've paid out on statutory sick pay. Okay, and the government is going to work with employers in terms of how you claim that money back. It's not been clear as yet, but the government will release that information, I'm sure, in the next just coming few days. If you need our help, please get in touch. 01422 897 152.